Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
Well, to start off the second segment of the show today, I want to run the risk again, as I did last week, of making some of you, the listening audience, mad. And again, just like last week, if I do, I apologize in advance, but it is because I want to keep you thinking about things from a libertarian perspective. Now, we had Hurricane Sandy hit the Northeast, and it caused quite a bit of devastation and wreaked havoc over a large swath of the eastern United States. Do you ever notice during these disasters that the president tells these people, we'll give you whatever you need? The problem is, when you do that, people aren't careful with the money and supplies you give them. They'll take whatever you send without regard to whether really they need it or not. There's no accountability. Every time we have something like this happen, we throw money at it like there's no tomorrow. And fortunately, there is a tomorrow, and at some point, we're going to have to pay it back. I'm not saying we shouldn't help these people, but private charity would do a far better job and be more efficient than the government. You don't believe that? Well, both President Obama and Governor Christie said they were going to get government out of the way so supplies could flow more efficiently to the storm-ravaged areas. Am I the only one getting this? Why not keep government out of the way? Just keep it out of the way. That's the problem. By throwing money at these types of things, we're supposed to show how much we care. But money isn't a measure of caring. Just look at children who are raised by parents who try to buy their love. It doesn't work. Governor Christie has Obama up there because he wants the federal government, which is us, the taxpayers of this nation. Government Christie wants all of us to bail out his state for the storm that hit them. Now, did we send the storm up there? Did any of us go up there and tear the heck out of their infrastructure? Was I up there looting? Okay, well, if none of this is my fault, then why am I paying for it? Here's a little history lesson for you. In 1794, James Madison was asked to sign a $15,000 appropriation for French refugees. Now, a lot of you have heard this quote over and over again, but his response was, I cannot undertake to lay my finger on that article of the Constitution which granted a right to Congress of expending on objects of benevolence the money of their constituents. Now, just 2 years later in the House of Representatives, William Giles of Virginia condemned a relief measure for fire victims. He insisted that it was not the purpose nor the right of Congress to attend to what generosity and humanity require, but what the Constitution and their duty require. Davy Crockett, yes, the same Davy Crockett you've all read about, in 1827 he was elected to the House of Representatives. During his first term of office, a $10,000 relief bill for the widow of a naval officer was proposed. Part of the speech in opposition to this bill that Davy Crockett gave stated, we must not permit our respect for the dead or our sympathy for the living to lead us into an act of injustice to the balance of the living. If that sounds complicated, he is stating that we should not let our emotions for neither the dead nor the living overrule our sense of justice for the rest of us and cause us to act in an unjust way. Now, he further said, I will not attempt to prove that Congress has no power to appropriate this money as an act of charity. Every member upon this floor knows it. So here he is saying that he is not going to restate the obvious. Everyone sitting in that chamber knows Congress does not have the power to give taxpayers' money away to another individual as charity. Mr. Crockett concluded his speech with, we have the right as individuals to give away as much of our own money as we please to charity. But as members of Congress, we have no right to appropriate a dollar of the public money. Also in 1854, President Franklin Pierce vetoed an extremely popular bill intended to help the mentally ill. It was championed by the renowned 19th century social reformer Dorothea Dix. So here is a president who is being pressured by an outspoken activist along with her allies in Congress, yet he stood strong. And here's what he said: "I cannot find any authority in the Constitution for public charity. To approve such spending would be contrary to the letter and the spirit of the Constitution and subversive to the whole theory upon which the union of these states is founded." So here's a president standing up for not giving away taxpayers' money to other citizens in the form of charity, no matter that it was a popular bill, no matter that it pulled at the emotional heartstrings of the population, no matter it was being pushed by a prominent activist. President Pierce stuck to his guns. Not being alone, though, President Grover Cleveland rejected hundreds of congressional spending bills during his 2 terms as president because, as he often wrote on the bills, "I can find no warrant for such an appropriation in the Constitution." Yet, whenever any type of disaster occurs, and it doesn't even have to be a large-scale disaster, it can be something small, only affecting a small interest group, we immediately declare it a disaster so federal money can be poured into an area with abandon, converting as many citizens as possible to cheerleaders for the federal government. We don't have the money for this. It amazes me how all these Republican politicians will moan and cry about the debt, but they will still step up and beg the federal government for money when something in their state goes wrong. We are spending money we don't have. That's the problem in too many parts of this country. I want something, but I don't want to pay for it. We are a nation of beggars and children. If we don't get the money we're begging for, we throw a tantrum until we do. We don't want to help ourselves. We want others to do the work for us while we sit back and watch. These people don't want to give up what they have. They don't want to give up their money. They want everyone else to give up some of theirs and give it to them. Is it right to take money from the rest of the country and give it to people in these affected areas? Is that okay to do? Well, of course not. Do you actually think that people would not voluntarily send money to help those through private charities? Sure they would. They do it all the time. All the government does is take money from you, pay a bunch of excessive salaries with it, and then give about 1% or even less to the people. Why not give to a public or a private charity and have almost 100% of it go to help someone? You would be getting more money to the people who need it most instead of paying a bloated bureaucracy salaries. Now, listen to this audio clip real quick. This is a American citizen named Donna Solly talking to Senator Chuck Schumer as he was touring the devastated areas of New York. Now, keep in mind, this is an American citizen.
With gasoline, you're going to bring food and gasoline and clothes and gasoline to run generators. Bring us generators. Bring us something to get heat. We're going to die if we get killed with the weather. We're going to die. We're going to freeze.
We're going to die. We're going to freeze unless the government brings us gasoline and generators. This is the American spirit. This is what we're reduced to. I talked about this on my last couple of shows about how people line up at these presidential debates to beg for gifts and favors from the candidates in the federal government. Please, Mr. Romney, Mr. Obama, please give me something for voting for you. How are you going to help my personal situation? How are you going to fix my life? How are you going to take care of me? I'm special, Mr. Romney, Mr. Obama. I'm special because my mom told me I was special. My teachers in the government schools all told me I was special. My college advisors all tell me I'm special. I'm such a good robot citizen, Mr. Romney, Mr. Obama. Tell me how the government is going to help me run my life so I can rest easy. Tell me how it is going to take care of me, how it is going to provide everything I need to live, how it is going to give me a job so I can feel good about myself. Tell me how it's going to call me a big boy when I go poopy all by myself. Tell me how it is going to soothe my diaper rash if I don't make it to the bathroom in time. It is all absolutely pathetic. That is the only thing you can say. Here's another clip of the same woman.
President Obama, please listen to us down here. We are going to die. You don't understand. You've got to get your trucks here on this corner now. This is 3 days.
3 days. 3 days. And everyone is already going to die. Pathetic and sad, really, that our country has come to this. Pull up your bootstraps and help yourself. Stop waiting for the government to be your daddy. Put on your big girl or big boy underwear and start back with your life. The amazing thing is no one is telling these people to shape up. Well, I guess I am, but unfortunately, I fear I'm probably the lone voice on both radio and TV because it isn't politically correct to say something like that. To point out that we have neither the money and, more importantly, we don't have the constitutional authority to do these types of things. This is a blatant taking of taxpayer money and giving it to another citizen for no other reason than the government wants to be seen as compassionate. And as I said, create more and more little cheerleaders for a strong and overbearing central government in Washington, D.C. So I just have to tell you that listen to those two things, it just really just sickens me. That's a fellow human being's spirit and character that has been so wrecked by the policies of the federal government because they've been taught that that's the answer. Federal government's the answer. All right, we're up on the bottom of the hour here on the Patrick Riggins Show. We'll be back after these messages with a lot more. And, well, we'll see what we get to here. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.